What's up, family? Welcome back to another video. As always, we're just here to have a conversation. All right, so I wasn't gonna say anything, but I kept seeing this on my feed, and it's a lot of women saying, "Why don't men approach women anymore? What happened to chivalry? Men don't want to talk to women in public anymore. They're scared." And I gotta say it now, fellas, we are holding the line. We are done. We logged off. We backed out of the chat. And you want to know why? Because approaching women in 2025 is like a damn setup. And that's how most men see it this day and age within this time and day. And you see a woman you're attracted to in public, you size up the moment, you think, you know what? I should go up and see how she doing, introduce myself. She smiled, eye contact was made, and maybe I go over there and start a combo, right? This is a typical mindset of a man. And now what's in the back of their head is a TikTok clip of some girl possibly trying to shame him for approaching her respectfully, calling him a weirdo, saying this weirdo came up to me, let's say at Target while I was shopping for almond milk. You know what I'm saying? I'm just making this up off the top of my head. But that's it. Boom. Now the man is viral. He's on a TikTok clip he didn't ask for. He was just trying to get to know the woman, approach himself, introduce himself, and all he did was say hi and asked how her day was going. But the internet labeled you a creep in a court of public opinion before you even walked away. So men just is not doing that anymore. Fellas saw the pattern and we adjusted. And fellas, you're not scared. We're just strategic. And there's too many men this day and age who are being convicted by false accusations from women. I'm not saying all, but I'm saying that is a thing that has been highly spoken about when it comes to men wanting family court change, laws within the justice system change, within women are basically he say, she say, saying whatever she said, falsely accusing a man, which then cost him his life. And it's seen as a setup because the whole situation she turns it out to be to make it out worse and dire than it is, like saying that um he raped her or he harassed her or sexual harassment when all the man did, back to my example, is approach her respectfully. But now things get put out of context and it can cost a man his life and let alone everything he worked for. And now men is like, nah, we not going for that. I mean, look, I'm just going off the sentiment to what a lot of men are saying. Like, look, for example, in this current day and time happening right now with Malik Beasley, right? As of July 2025, Beasley is under investigation regarding gambling concerns. Um, no, give me a second. Give me a second. It's a he's an NBA Piston player, no Trailblazer player. Um, Charge. I think it's not Malik Beasley. Charged with Okay, his name is Ben McLemore. Sorry, family, not Malik Beasley. He is currently the guilty verdict has been said that he has been uh, on charges of first degree rape, first degree unlawful sexual penetration, and sexual degree sexual abuse. And these are the men are saying nowadays are saying an overall sentiment of men that I'm talking about. And these are the men are saying like, you know what? I am not about to sit there and my whole life go up in flames where I get basically in prison for a false accusation. Now, from my understanding and what most men are saying when it comes to this Ben McLemore case, what this trailblazer is, what the whole rape trial was, that she didn't have no type of police report. She never reported it. And on the flip side, her attorneys were saying that most women and most individuals who discover or go through this horrendous, because it's a inhumane act of rape. It's a horrible thing. Let me put it like that. And her attorney is saying most rape victims do not come out and say nothing, do not call the police, because they don't know how to cope with it, dealing with the emotional trauma, and they don't know which way to go, left or right. But my thing is, men are saying, how can Ben McLemore be accused of rape charges or first degree rape, which cost this man 8 years in prison and threw away his whole NBA career? Won't even be known for his NBA career, but known for raping a woman when it didn't stand on a foundation or evidently the basis of anything um that substantiate the point of rape, right? Because she didn't have no police report. She didn't have no witnesses come up, nothing hardcore, just her word and her being emotional and boom, that's it. So I'm not saying the verdict is the verdict, right? But what I'm saying is if you take a deeper look in it, men are saying, how can you convict this man off the basis of not nothing substantial when it comes to really proving the guilt, the guilty verdict when it comes to the basics of what? On written paper. It has to be more than just her word against his word. But then he gets convicted, 8 years in NBA career goes down the drain. So men are tired of being set up. They look at it like it's set up. They're not willing to use everything. And back then, growing up, I used to be able to have a pen, a paper. I used to write down, you know, young guys, guys back then used to write down, see how many girls you can get. Oh, I could get more girls. You write down pen and paper, approach the woman, no problem. You got rejected. It was between you, her, and maybe your boys. And you was a little bit embarrassed a little bit, but you moved on because at the end of the day, rejection comes with it, right? But nowadays, rejection comes with the screenshots, story times, group chats, and potentially a million strangers clowning you online. Even worse, the silence. Now, let's look at it from the Trailblazer incident when it came to Ben McLemore, right? He's an NBA player. NBA players have no problem getting women. Maybe he said they were drinking a little bit based on what I heard, and she was drinking a little bit based on hearing. I heard a little bit of I heard the verdict, but I also heard the story and how he said they asked, her attorney was asking when he was cross-examined, was he drinking, right? And he was like, I drank a little bit, but everything felt consensual. He didn't feel everything was consensual. She didn't see no sign of the rest on her. And she's saying that she was raped and she was drunk and don't remember, but nobody was there. So that's the basis that most men are saying. However, if you take a deeper dive into it, NBA players have no problem getting women. Maybe they had, you know, had, he bust her down. They had their own little thing. And maybe he wasn't feeling her no more. Maybe he ghosted her and she felt some type of way. So she came back with him with the whole rape thing, right? Possibly because there's no basis other than there's no police report. There's no outside source to evidently substantiate her point versus what she said. Not saying that she's not a real rape victim, but it makes it horrifying to the sentiment of men because they like, whoa, these women are against us. They coming at us. We want to love on women. We want a woman. We don't want to hurt women. We not coming to attack women. We actually want to approach women, but how can we approach women if we being attacked and our whole life and careers is getting thrown away and we being in prison, right? So and nowadays women, if they don't feel as though they are receiving that validation, which is that attention that they want, or the way they receive it and their liking, they can come at you. And that's why as men evolve, they like, I'm not about to lose everything I worked hard for, because as you evolve, you can't deal with women that have nothing because they have nothing to lose, but you have to deal with a woman that has just as much to lose as you. So you have to get rid of the low value, low vibrational woman, right? Because then they'll come after you after you evolve. I mean, look at Bill Cosby. He got 30 years later, look at Donald Trump. Donald Trump said he didn't even know the woman, right? So the thing is, men and women are saying why they don't approach them, but they're rather, holler at them in the DM because receipts can go off the basis of a foundation if a man needs to substantiate their point to defend themselves versus he say, she say, because the woman word overpowers the man, which then can imprison the man. And then you'll be Ben McLemore in a situation where you can be in prison. And there's a lot of men that are in prison today off of false accusations. And don't get me wrong, there are individuals who have been truly raped and they will be able to um substantiate the point, because the whole thing within our court system is innocent until found guilty, right? So I just want to say that, and I'm just having a conversation, right? For individuals who have been raped, you know, my heart goes out to them, truly. But then the flip side is, what about men who life's been destroyed, or individuals who lied about being raped and they just was mad because the man not rocking with them no more? But anyway, family, I just wanted, because rejection today isn't rejection back in the day, is what I'm saying. So with no further ado, let's check out some of these TikTok clips, and then I'll add a little bit more of my opinion. I want to get you guys' thoughts down in the comments below. But check out what she had to say.
Real quick before I go into class, because I'm already late. But can someone explain to me why men will see you in person, out, have multiple opportunities to interact with you, right? I'm not talking about we at a, Usher concert and it's thousands of people and you see me across the room. I'm talking about we're in a small, intimate setting. We're at a lounge. We're at a bar. We're at a Friendsgiving. Whatever the case may be, right? They see you for hours. They don't show any interest. They don't say anything. And then when the night is over, after they've seen you all night, had multiple opportunities to interact with you, they get on their phone and send you a message. Or they send your friend a message to be like, yo, your friend that had the blue shirt, tell her like, you saw me all night and said nothing.
All right, that's one clip. Sorry for the dude, but that's the only clip I could find. I didn't want to get his input. I wanted just to get hers. So that's why I'm cutting that one. But now check out this second clip.
That's why I'm like, okay, and that's why I wanted to talk about this with you, because I'm like, if I feel this way, there's so many other people in the world that are feeling this way. And if anything, more and more, as like social media becomes bigger and bigger and bigger, and dating apps, the more people feel uncomfortable to talk to you in real life. And I'm like someone that's very, very much like passionate about like, I have Raya, but like I've never went on a date from a dating app. Not that I like judge it or anything. I just have this weird internal knowing that like I'm gonna meet someone in real life, like organically through friends. That's how I've always met everyone. But then now it's like the more people are going on social media, the more uncomfortable even some men are to like walk up to you. It's like I've seen guys stare at me like the whole night, and I'm like, you are still never gonna fucking say anything?
Isn't that crazy?
It's
They'll
so
just
annoying.
Stare, like as if you're supposed to make the first move.
Yeah, I'm like,
that is so normalized. I totally agree with you, because right now everyone is so behind the keyboards on the dating apps, like on the paywall platforms. Like there's so many ways that we're just disconnecting from other people and losing, honestly, that sense of like that social aspect, that social lubricant, whatever it is that makes you be able to go around a room and talk to strangers and all this, that confidence essentially. And
Men are realizing basically, if he hit a girl in the DM, right, the direct message on Instagram or whatever, right? Because Instagram is the new modern day dating app. It's really, a way of just to have conversation and so forth. But men realize that real life effort is dead ass punished, because that same energy in the DMs might get you, hey, you cute too. If the guy DMs her and say, you cute, and try to holler at her. So now the fellas are like, bet, I'll just skip the approach in person and just DM like everybody else. There's no embarrassment. There's no TikTok, no risk, just results. And that's just basically what it's coming down to. But I have another clip as well. If a guy explaining why men don't approach women no more. Check it out.
I see in my algorithm all these women saying, why don't men approach women in public anymore? And it just keeps popping up, and I want to explain why. And this is specifically for men probably over the age of 35 to probably 55, on why we don't really bother approaching women anymore. What they really mean is they only want the men that they want to approach them. They don't want guys like me approaching them. I'm just an average looking guy who's not tall, and if I walked up to a woman in public, 9 times out of 10, I would be rejected, but not even politely. And we can deal with polite rejection, but that's not what happens. They give off the vibe that you're creepy and they're offended, and, you feel like shit for doing that. And let me tell you a story. About 18 months ago, I wanted to go see a movie, but I didn't want to go alone. And I had asked, over a period of a week, 3 different women out to see a movie. And these are women that I knew in some capacity. It wasn't just strange women in the wild. Rather than just politely rejecting me, they didn't even bother to respond. Like, just no response, even though we had chatted previously. And No response is worse than any response, even a polite rejection. Even if you just lie and say, I'm busy, I got my kids, or whatever, just no response. That's the ultimate rejection. So it's just not worth it. Women they say they want to be approached, but only by the guys that they want to be approached by. And you have to have this very narrow criteria to meet that. Anything outside of that, they're going to make fun of you to their friends privately, or even worse, they're going to stick it on TikTok. Or allude to the fact that you're creepy. So men just gave up, especially mature adult men who are in their 40s, who are successful and have their shit together. They'd rather just sit at home and be at peace. That's why no men approach women anymore in public, at least the good ones.
And he has a point. So think about it. Let's stop pretending it's about the approach, because it's not. Because they generalize and saying no men want to approach us. You don't want to be approached. You want to be approached by someone you're already attracted to. And it's not about bravery. It's about desirability. And if it's a guy you don't want, he's creepy. He made me uncomfortable. He was staring too long. But if it's the guy you do want, oh my gosh, it's like a movie. I melted. Same behavior, different face, different reaction. Fellas peep the double standard and we bounce. Because the simple fact is, what if the guy, even if he's average, because there's some hardworking average Joe guys out here who are good guys. What if that's the guy you truly qualify for, but you think you qualify more than what you qualify for? So now you done X'd out yourself, and most of the women nowadays, I believe, are going to be single more than ever. Right? And I have another clip in regards of this woman saying that men don't approach. This is another
Yo,
one.
I used to be so sad because I used to be like, why doesn't guys approach me? I look great. Why don't guys approach me? But then God reminded me that I prayed that prayer when I said, if anything is unlike you, remove it. And he had to show me that that prayer doesn't only go for the people that are in my life, but the people that are also coming into my life. So really, God isn't allowing people to come into my life that are going to use me, that are going to hurt me, or that simply just aren't like him. It's a little boring, but y'all, it's so peaceful. Y'all hear that? Silence.
It's weird. You see what I'm saying? So 1 minute they want a man, but then at the same time they're so happy without it. Man, they're breaking, they're crushing, and they're seeing the reality that in reality is they need a man. They want a man. She want a man. Deep down, she just fronting for the camera. But in reality is she get lonely and sad. She want to make that midnight call and she wants somebody to cozy up to. And that's the reality of it. See, when someone got a front like they don't want something, they really do want it. Because you shouldn't have to belittle men if that was the case. Because obviously what your thought was the first time when you used to look like, why don't guys approach me? That's how you really still feel, but you belittle them because nobody approaching you. Bottom line is, family, this is where I got to get real. Holding a line when it comes to men doesn't mean we hate women. It means we're done performing in a rigged game with mental gymnastics. We want respect before romance, reciprocity before risk, and real energy, not performative. Where have all the good men gone whining online. If you want us to approach, make it safe to approach. Stop punishing politeness. Stop humiliating average guys who just wanted to start a conversation, and stop acting like every man's existence is a threat to your autonomy. Because while you're screaming about how nobody's talking to you in real life, men are chilling, they're peaceful, and they're focused. How about that? I mean, she's saying she peaceful, but is she really at peace? Because she talking amongst men. Because a woman that's at peace wouldn't even bother even entertain a conversation of belittling men, like she's saying she don't need them. Like she's belittling men by saying at first she was like, why don't I approach him? Now she's saying that she don't care. She's at peace. Double standardish. And it's the games that's displayed that I just showed you guys. And men are not risking their dignity to play a dating game that's already stacked against them. So, yeah, we see you. We just not coming over. We'll look, we'll nod. Hell, we might even smile, but walk across to you, start a conversation with a stranger in 2025, put our reputation, peace, and emotional well-being on the line. Nah, we're good. We're holding the line. And unless something changes out there, we're not crossing it. But let me know, family, your thoughts. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and got some value from it. On that note, family, peace.